But first, day one of a two-day meeting of the Reserve Bank has been taking place. We know what the outcome is probably going to be, or at least what the media is expecting.
Markets are all but certain that the Reserve Bank will cut the official interest rate tomorrow.
Mortgage holders across Sydney could be less than 24 hours away from their first interest rate relief in 4 years.
But on this show, I say the same thing over and over again, which is I'm not going to fall for the hype. A lot of people think this is going to be the beginning of the reset for the Albanese government, but they thought that about too little too late tax cuts. They thought that, of course, about the voice. Interesting poll in a slew of them that are around at the moment. You know, I'll try to show you the data. That is the bricks. The opinion is the mortar in the wall that we build each and every night. Right track, wrong track. 55% of people say country is headed in the wrong direction. Just 27 believe that it's in the right direction. Break that down by age. 47 to 28, 52 to 29, 57 to 27 and 63 to 26. All age groups believe that we are headed in the wrong direction. Majorities from 35 up until the oldest person that will be voting later this year. 25%, a quarter of Labor voters think that their country is headed in the wrong direction. 73% of people planning to vote against the government directly. 53% of Greens, because they presume it's not headed in too much of a left direction. But that other number, everything from the real independents to the teal independents to One Nation and any and everything in between, 75% of people think the joint is headed in the wrong direction. So whatever happens tomorrow, that is not going to change. Numbers that big, that deep are fundamental. They are baked in. There may be some very slight movement between now and whenever the election will be called, but I don't think there's going to be much move between now and when the election actually happens. And also, it is, again, worth pointing out that even if 0.25% is what the Reserve Bank decide to cut tomorrow, this is how much you can expect to save off what you have been spending in extra loan repayments since Albo became the Prime Minister in 2022. $92 a month. That's it for people paying off $600. $115 for $750, or $150 to $200 if you're between, say, $1 and $1.5 million. Again, no one's going to be saying, oh, I don't want the money, but no one is also going to say that when that many people in that many directions, including a quarter of Labor people, think we're headed in the wrong direction, that anything magically is going to be changing if by this time tomorrow night we're talking about an interest rate cut. Now, as a person trying to pay off a house, I want interest rates cut, no question. As a person who has shown you the data about the per capita recession that we have been in for the best part of 2 years, I want an interest rate cut. I want them to halve interest rates. So I am not cheering for anything but a reduction in interest rates. But when, as I have relentlessly shown you, the total amount of your repayments that have gone up since 2022 and 12 of the 13 interest rate rises under Albo, I'm sorry, you can say, hallelujah, $92. If you've paid $22,410 extra each year on a $600,000 loan, are you really going to be singing hallelujah? $29,000 on an $800,000 loan, $37,000 on a $1 million loan, or $44,800, $45,000 you have had to find on top of what you were already paying. That's each year. So you can double those numbers for 22 plus 23 and 24. It's extraordinary the amount of money people have had to spend on their mortgages. And also, just to show that it is not just me scribbling in crayon in my padded cell between shows, where I'm sure lefties think I actually live, there are plenty of other people who have this view, who can see the reality that even if rates are cut, there is not about to be a party in the streets like it's the end of World War II. 1.5 million people in Australia are sitting through mortgage stress right now. And what is being described as throwing a cup of water at a bushfire would be the equivalent of what might happen tomorrow. A person who is with a property tech service called Be Right says, this is Aaron Scott, a rate cut might sound like good news on the surface, but in reality it's unlikely to make meaningful difference to many homeowners who are already stretching their financial limits. A single rate cut is like getting a 4-cent discount off $2 of fuel. It might make you feel good, but the saving is gone by the time you leave the servo. Good point. Unless you've got half a dozen cuts that are lined up, one drop in rates won't move the needle for most household budgets. That's my point. And if those household budgets are directly linked to people's financial circumstances and thus what bleeds into our political beliefs about whom we believe responsible, you can have the team with one interest rate rise or the one with 12 since they started going up in 2022, I'm pretty sure, where a huge bulk of people are, and those people, of course, are in the suburbs where the bet is they may well vote Liberal for the first time. Or if they vote something like One Nation, they would definitely send their preferences back to the Libs because they don't want a continuation of this government and its pain. Remember, the central promise of the Albanese opposition before government was to make the cost of living lower. All of it has gone up. Some of it, since it has gone up, has come down a little bit, but all of it is higher than when they made that promise. I hope you remember that. I hope your friends remember that. And if they don't see this program, share the video when it's uploaded to skynews.com.au or up on our YouTube channel.